We got to add ourselves to the stream. This is why I don't do production, Scott Eddy.
Yeah, I can see that. Good job.
Yeah, we're really close, huh? Okay. How's
There
that?
you go.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, so Scott. Hi.
Well, good morning.
I tried to get two microphones, but like I said, not the person behind the camera.
Technically, we have 3.
We actually have 4. I have another one.
Good job.
Okay, so News with Suze.
Where's
We're
Siebes
at. I know. Where is Siebes when you need him?
Siebes. I hope he's logged on.
Yeah.
So do we see all the comment? I've never used StreamYard before.
Yeah, so this is a platform called StreamYard that allows you to go and stream to multiple platforms at once. I love it. It's super simple. You can see all the comments here on the side, and I can pop up the comments so people can see them across the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you see comments from Facebook and
YouTube.
and
Yeah,
YouTube.
and so you'll see the little icon that'll tell you whether it's from Facebook or from
And we
YouTube.
were just live on Instagram, and we cut off. There was 11 people on. We just go over to Facebook. Like,
right.
She's so nice.
You got to join us here. Okay, so first of all, tell people where we are.
We're at Aloft Delray Beach, currently my home. This is my living room for the time being. So I haven't had a home for about 7 years because I travel full time, and this coronavirus thing really, it ended my life overnight. So it's actually the first time in 7 years when it's been uncomfortable not to have a home. So I've had to, so first off, I wasn't in South Florida during when the whole thing came out. I was in Central Florida, and it was easier for me to stay up there because I was with friends and the outbreak wasn't that bad. I was in Highland County. I think they had like 30 cases total. So I didn't come back down to South Florida. I came back to Fort Lauderdale in maybe the end of April. And like I came down and I haven't wore a mask yet. So I walked into a hotel in Fort Lauderdale.
Like, no.
They had a heart attack. They're like, everybody's wearing like hazmat suits. I'm like, what is going on here?
Right.
And, you know, I learned very quickly how bad it was down here. And, you know, I had to get accustomed to wearing masks everywhere. And it really like blew my mind.
So tell people quickly, Scott, for people that don't know what you do, and a little bit about your background. So you were in the financial business.
I
right?
was. I was in investment banking for 10 years. I grew up down here. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. So South Florida is my base. And I'm always here in between all my trips. So after they sold my firm, I went to Thailand, loved it. It's Omar. I went to Thailand, and I ended up staying there for 11 years. So in total, I lived in 6 different countries for 17 years. But the most important part of that whole equation is I was in Southeast Asia when social media came out, when social media was invented, when Facebook first became a word. And
it was big over there, right?
If anybody knows anything about Asia, it's social media is on steroids out there. So if people post here once a day or twice a day, and that's a lot, people over there, it's like 5 times a day. So it's like
I'm friends with those people.
It is the craziest but awesome thing at the same time, because first off, I blew up immediately because, you know, you're an American expat on foreign soil. And back then, you know, and still to this day, Twitter is my biggest platform. And that is where all the news broke back in the day. So I was over there during the tsunami. I was over there during the big Japan earthquake. I was over there, and I started the first digital agency in Southeast Asia. And we immediately became the biggest, and we were the biggest in the region for 5 years. And that's where I really learned social and marketing and digital, and more importantly, tourism. I didn't know anything. I didn't go to college. I was a C- student. I'm the worst of the worst. I am what you would call average, and then Scott Eddy's here. So, but
I would disagree.
One thing I did learn when I worked in investment banking, really the only good thing that I took out of that is I learned how to sell. I learned how to sell anything to anyone, and I still think that I sell every day on social media. Even though I don't sell a product, I sell me. and I sell my authentic self, and that gets me hired for other things. So now that I don't have the agency, I do everything through my brand. I build out digital strategies. I do consulting. I build out social media platforms for different tourism boards, for different brands, for different airlines, things like that. And, in a nutshell, that's what I do.
And you travel around. So he's paid by major brands, airlines, hotels, resorts to travel around and spend time in their places, their businesses, their areas. And he talks about them on his social platforms, which has a cumulative what? 2 million plus?
I have about 1 million, but my reach per month is anywhere from 7 to 10 million.
Wow.
So
and
that's
it's a highly engaged audience, which I think a lot of people don't understand about social media is, a lot of people have a lot of followers, but if you go to their pictures or you go to their posts, they have like 1 or 2 likes. And I think that the engagement is important.
What still blows me away, it literally still blows me away, is that we're in 2020. You post something, you have 20 comments, and you don't even reply to one of the comments. It's still astounding to me. It's the equivalent of walking down a sidewalk, somebody walking by you saying, "Hey, how are you?" And you just keep walking. It's laughable, but it's like the real world. There's no difference between real life and digital life. It is the exact same thing.
And it's called social media for a reason, right?
Right. It's just astounding to me that, yeah.
So I wanted to bring Scott on today because, he's been, as he just mentioned, greatly impacted by the coronavirus, by COVID-19. But you, oh yeah, that's Tim. He always says that. He says that to all the girls, but thank you, Tim. That's appreciated. So, I think what I wanted to talk to you about today is kind of the opportunity moving forward, because I believe from the beginning of this thing that there are opportunities, but I'm just starting to see, I think, the very beginning of those opportunities and what that's going to look like for people in our business.
Yeah, it's, the funny thing is during this whole thing, after we were in it for about a month and a half, something like that, I started getting these random messages and emails from people that I've talked to 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever it is. And they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't take you up on that before. Now my brick and mortar is ruined. I have no business, I have no traffic, and I have nobody to talk to. So therefore I have no sales. And I haven't posted for 2 months because I don't know what to say." And it's an unfortunate reality that the crisis slaps you in the face that hard, because listen, the world is not getting less digital. Social media is not becoming less important. The world is getting more digital every day. Video is getting more important. Voice is getting more important.
Live is getting more important.
Like we were just talking about this before, Siebes, my video guy, how are you not commenting? I don't understand. I literally reminded you this morning to log on. Come on, bro.
He's probably still sleeping.
But he gets on me all the time that we got to start doing more live events and this and that. And we're doing a speaking engagement here in Delray next week with the chamber, and we're going to go live and things like that. It's so important. It's so important. The video message, the voice message, social media, your message. And there's no better way to tell a story than in a video. That's why we're starting to do, if you go on my Facebook page, it's pinned to the top. I have a video business card. It is a video, a 2.5 minute video. That's essentially my resume, because you heard my story and it goes a little bit deeper than that. But how can I put that into a resume? If I put it down on a resume, I'll look like an idiot. No college, C- student, like just left and went to go live in Europe and Asia for 17 years. Like I would look like a moron. But if you see the visuals, it explains my story.
Yeah, and I like that you had said that businesses are now really starting to see what you have been saying all along, which you need a strategy, right? You need to at least take some action when it comes to your online presence, your digital presence.
Seriously, all businesses, you should create a checklist right now. What did you do to enhance your business while you had your downtime during COVID? Did you refresh your website? Did you Did
I
you,
actually did.
yeah. Did you update your pictures? Did you update the wording so that when you come out of this, you're up to date with the times that we are now, because times have changed again. So, like, what have you done to move your company, your brand, your business, whatever it is, forward? Because if you're not moving ahead 1% every day, like, what are you doing? You're just moving backwards.
I was talking to some high school students about social media, and they were, some of them were like, well, my parents don't let me on social media. And some were saying, how do we use social media to eventually, pursue the career that we want to pursue? And, I was telling them that, in this day and age, that, learning social media and using it as a platform for your professional life is a lot more important than using it as a platform for your personal life. But it's also very important to be yourself and be authentic. So what would be your advice?
I think you need to use a healthy mix of both. I actually dislike brands that only talk about business, only talk about promotions, only talk about this and that. And then they're not showing who they are as a human. Like, the main thing that I show on my social media, I show destinations and hotels and cruises and things like that, but I'm also human. I also, if you follow me on Twitter, Mr. Scott Eddy, like, I post videos and pictures of the sunrise every morning because I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. Like, it's the greatest way to start my day. Like, the city of Delray Beach is not paying me to do a sunrise and tag them in the post every morning. I'm just doing it because I like it. So, I mean, it's real. People need to be real. People need to be authentic. Authentic wins every day of the week.
Okay, so let's say you're a business and you've been like paralyzed by what's been going on, and you haven't done anything, and you've maybe let some of your marketing people go. What would be your best advice for them starting right now and moving forward as things are reopening?
Listen, the most important thing that you could possibly invest in is a full-time social media person. Now, the reason most places don't do this is because that they don't get ROI. 24 hours later, a dollar bill doesn't fall on top of their head, obviously. But what you're building is you're building a community. You're building a community of evangelists for your brand, for your store, for your hotel, for whatever business it is. It doesn't matter. You're building a community that just loves you and will support you throughout. So every day you're growing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at the same time, you're also growing your business, and, show people the process. This is my first day back in the office after 3 months out. This is what it looks like if you leave your office for 3 months. This is what it looks like the first day of business. People want to see that. You think that people don't want to see that. People want to see the journey. People just don't want to see the finish line where you buy a Mercedes.
I always tell people that I built my brand by showing the behind the scenes. That's what I did. I showed the behind the scenes of the news station. I showed what we were doing in the commercial breaks. I talked to people while we were in the commercial breaks. That's when we did our Facebook.
You used to go live when you were an anchor.
People love that. They love to see what's happening, behind the pretty picture.
Yeah, 100%. People love it. Absolutely. I can tell you before and after, there's no pretty picture here. It always looks the same.
What do you think is the biggest mistake that people make on social media or businesses make on social media? Is it that hard sell constantly?
Well, yeah, because
being just or disappearing.
No, it's both. That is it 50-50. It is people just want to shove promotions down your throat, and they don't know what to post. You need to just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't see XYZ brand over there and say, oh, well, I got to do what he does because he's successful. Do you. Nobody does you like you.
And the other mistake that I think people make is they get into this idea that it has to be perfect, right? That everything has to be perfect before they start. And I always tell people, just start. Like, don't overthink it, right? Because it's going to evolve.
here's a benefit of COVID happening. What COVID has done is COVID has made pretty content irrelevant. There has been no other time in the history of social media where raw content, unedited content, just raw footage has meant more, because it's all over the place. If you see, listen, and I'm the biggest victim of this. I have the greatest video guy in the world. He absolutely is David Copperfield for the video world. So I refused to do raw videos, just taking a video and uploading it right away. I'll do it on every other platform. I never did it on Instagram until COVID hit. And they were some of my most engaged posts when I did it, because I didn't have Siebes. Because, you know, like, we're not.
Yeah, it's just, you got to do it yourself. Just like today, you got to figure it out, you know?
Crazy. You know, I mean, we didn't have a mic that was working, so we figured it out.
What can you talk about any of the opportunities that you're seeing, or some of, you know, maybe not specifics, but what you're starting to see in your business?
So as I said before, a lot of more people are reaching out. A lot more people are investing in digital. They do not want to get caught with their pants down again. And listen, this was a hard lesson to learn. This was a hard lesson. And I'm not saying I'm any different. My whole life got canceled. I lost 12 speaking engagements. I lost 27 trips. I lost probably over 100 grand worth of revenue over this thing. But
within a matter of days, right?
Within 48 hours. And since this has gone on for 3 months now, something like that, I've never worked more. I've never done more video calls, more phone calls, more conferences, spoke on more webinars, and also making zero revenue. Zero, because my industry is bleeding from the eyes. The travel industry is getting absolutely annihilated. So regardless if they have it or not, I cannot sleep with myself at night in bed knowing that I'm charging somebody who's absolutely bleeding. So I'm trying to help as many people as I possibly can. You know, and here's another thing. And this is actually a really good thing. If you want anything done now, if you need a new website, if you need new photography, if you need new videos, everybody's dying for business. There has never been a better time to negotiate. It's never, like, it's, people don't understand that. Like, don't look at it as I have no money, but I still have to reopen my business. Look at it as I'm never going to get these prices again in my life, because you never will.
You know, I go back to what some of, like, you know, I'm thinking of some of the businesses that have really pivoted in this time. And, you know, I was thinking about an interview that I did with a young woman who was like in her 20s, and her family owns a farm business. They distribute produce. So they pick it up from the farmer and they give it to like Cisco and those businesses that then deliver it to the restaurants, right? And so they had to, their business, like yours, went away within 48 hours. And they had pivoted and went direct to consumer. So they started offering people to come by and pick up the produce, $10 a box, and they had lines of people, and still do, coming to pick up that produce.
It's so great. I
mean,
mean,
some of the major businesses that you're aware of have done some pivoting like that.
Well, very similar. Not a huge business, but Oceans 234 did the same thing. They pivoted overnight, and they had an online grocery on their website, and they were basically delivering groceries. They were doing takeout as well, but they were, you know, it's listen.
And to-go cocktails.
So, hey, Danielle, I know you're not watching.
We'll tag her.
Right. But like, you have to constantly think of yourself as a small startup. It doesn't matter how big your business is. You got to be able to pivot overnight, because if you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure, because the world changes. Now that we're in this digital age, the world changes overnight. And if you're not able to move with it overnight and take advantage of these things, like, so I'll ask the call me for your photography. So Omar's one.
Omar, look, Omar's offering his services.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. And again, I was having this conversation with Omar the other day. There's never been a better time to negotiate fees with photographers, with videographers, and things like that, because these people are desperate for business right now. I forgot what I was saying.
We were talking about
Omar, you knocked me off.
Well, we were talking about Danielle and to Oceans 234 that pivoted.
Right.
Any other businesses that you?
So, you got to be able to pivot like crazy. You have to be able to just move overnight. Like right now. And I know a lot of people are going to shake their head and like walk away or whatever after I say this, but like how many people are on there are on TikTok? Okay. I'm 49. How old are you?
I just turned 47.
She's 4. Seriously?
Yeah.
Dude, she looks like she's 20. But like if we are on TikTok active, like you just did a post yesterday, the slow motion, right?
My son.
That was yesterday, right? Yeah. See, I pay attention. If you're a business, it doesn't matter what you think of the demographic. It doesn't matter what you think of the platform. So I don't do those stupid dances.
Right. You can use the platform however you want,
exactly.
Right?
It doesn't matter what it's popular for. People don't join Twitter because it's not cool, because the stock doesn't do well, because you can't monetize. I still get 80% of my business from Twitter. Yeah. Like, are you guys crazy? That's how we met. Like, that's gold. This is gold. But you got to take advantage of these platforms when they first come out, because that's when the algorithm is most favorable for you. So if you complain about the Facebook algorithm and you complain about the Instagram algorithm, free platforms, by the way, that you get to build a business on for free, and you're complaining, and you don't join TikTok, you're sort of a hypocrite, because the only time you get the favorable algorithm is when they want to become popular in the beginning. Like, I'm posting dumb videos and I'm getting 15, 20,000 views.
I think that the kind of the lesson in all this, and I know what people are saying. They're like, well, it's just so much work. It's so much work to post to all the platforms, and I get it. But I think the lesson is that it is work. It's marketing, and it's free marketing, right? And so I think you have to, like you were saying, hire someone full time to do your social media. I don't think social media is an afterthought.
The problem is for most businesses, it is. The person that's handling your social media has 15 other job responsibilities. Then if they have time, they'll create one post, share it to all platforms, which that's not the way it works. And okay, society says I need to be on social media, so I did it. And that's it. Understand that every platform has its own personality. Also, if you're a brand that's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blah, 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 don't you think you have a crossover of audience where somebody will follow you on Facebook and Instagram? I don't want to see your same post, same wording, same everything at the same time on both platforms. What do you think? I'm not on Facebook and Instagram like within minutes of each other? Come on. You got to do it at different times of the day. Maybe shoot the same picture, but a different angle, maybe a different caption. That way your tags get properly done. And hey, if you're posting on Instagram, hashtags are important. If you're posting on Facebook, maybe one hashtag is important. If you're posting on Twitter, 2 or 3 hashtags are important. Like, come on, people. It doesn't take rocket science to know all this.
But I think it is rocket science for people that aren't good at that.
Well, please understand. Okay, if you're not good, then go to YouTube and say, how do I use Twitter? And 1 million videos will pop up. It is free. It takes an investment of time, not money. Okay. Oh, well, my days are all busy. I have a family. Scott, you don't have a family. I have a house to maintain. You don't have a house. I have a business to maintain. I have this. I have that. Okay. So wake up 15 minutes earlier. No, I need my sleep. Listen, you can stop making excuses. Like, just do it. Right. There's always going to be an excuse. Nobody cannot spare 15 minutes in a day.
When do you think the travel industry will come back? Do you think the travel industry will come back? The travel industry will come back bigger and better than ever, like it always does. It's not going to happen overnight. The travel industry it's already coming back. It's just not coming back overnight. Like, cruising will come back. And, I have to address this because they get absolutely
murdered in the press, and it drives me crazy because I am a big cruiser. I grew up down here. I grew up going on cruises, but yet people crucify the cruise industry for being, oh, well, you won't catch me dead on a boat. You know, I don't want to be out there stuck and everybody gets sick. Let me tell you something. There's been hand sanitizers and them religiously telling me to use it going into dining rooms since I was little. When was the last time you saw a hand sanitizer at an airport? The dirtiest places on the planet. Okay? How about doing a deep clean on an airline between every flight? How about cleaning the tray, like the dirtiest part of the whole airline? You guys like sit down in these airline seats. You put your hands on the seatbelt buckle without like wiping things down. I've always wiped things down. Like, why do you need the government to tell you to be clean? Are you guys crazy? Like, for the CDC to have to produce a video and pay millions of dollars to push out a campaign to tell people to wash their hands. Like, are we from the same planet? I don't understand. I know it's astounding. Like,
so you're saying the poor cruise industry got lambasted basically, and yeah.
Like, let me tell you something for all you guys.
Well, now's a good time to get a deal on a cruise.
Well, a deal anywhere. I mean, let me tell you something for all you people that after September 11th said, I'm never flying again because, you know, you never know what could happen. There was never a safer time to travel than right after September 11th. And guess what? Right now, there's never a cleaner time to travel because nobody is ever going to be taking the time to clean what they are cleaning right now. These hotels, this room, the deep cleaning that I tell you goes on in this lobby every day, several times a day. It's unbelievable. Like, it's now's the time to get that bucket list trip and do it.
Right. What industries do you think are going to be hot now, other than cleaning services?
You know, it's now is the time to digitize your industry, your business, your anything. Take advantage of Facebook ads. Let me tell you, Facebook ads, there's no better ROI in social media ads. But also understand, a Facebook ad is not placing an ad one time, not getting results, and then saying Facebook doesn't work. Because, you know, Facebook ads are like using artificial intelligence. It learns over time. You learn over time what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, you got to spend money to learn, but you learn very quickly and you learn how to be very specific, and that ROI comes very quick. I just think that this was the slap in the face that the world needed because innovation was forced on us. It was forced. I'm doing more video calls than I've ever done in my life. I don't necessarily like video calls. It's not that I look different from when I wake up to when I go to sleep. I still look the same. If I'm on a voice call, I can put on my earbuds and multitask and do many things while I'm on that call. Now I literally have to look at the camera and they're like, you know, it's rude to like look down at your phone and like, it's like ridiculous. Well,
Scott may have a little ADD.
I have ADHD, actually. Come on, get it right. No, but yes.
Same with me. I was like, I don't think I was ever diagnosed, but definitely. 100%. But I think it's what makes you good at what you do, right?
I love it. I think what made me good on Twitter. You know, I don't wait for what works. That's the most overused statement on Instagram right now. What works well for my audience, for my algorithm, what time of day to post and this and that. And, you know, I just tweet what I want when I want. You know, this morning I did something that would be shunned on social media platforms everywhere. I tweeted 2 times within a half hour. And if you ever did that on Instagram, you'd be punished by the algorithm because the second post would never get what the first post got. And it's like, just do it. Just be real. Yeah.
Well, I think Twitter is a different platform. I mean, when I was on the morning show and I would just sit and have my Twitter page open and just respond to people constantly. So I think Twitter is more of a conversation than any of the other platforms anyway, right?
It absolutely is. I mean, I would probably say 70% of the people in my life right now as indirectly came and the conversation has started, or a friend of a friend has started on Twitter, much more than Instagram or Facebook or anything else. Yeah. Because you don't have to wrap a conversation around a piece of content, you can just talk.
Right.
So for me, I use social media because we can get to things like this. Mm-hmm. I don't use social media to use social media.
Yeah. And he's also a Samsung phone user.
Was that a compliment? Like, should I say thank you, or like, I don't understand.
I don't know. Like, I feel like your pictures look amazing off of your phone.
Yeah, because I'm not an Apple user. And when I do that, I this is me handcuffed. Like, it's so like, come on.
You're all about
Samsung is like, please. And the shocking thing is Samsung doesn't even sponsor me. My favorite brands that I use, I've wore a Fitbit every morning, every day for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years. Samsung, I am the most religious person in the world. T-Mobile, I swear by. None of these brands sponsor me. These are all paid for. It's absolutely shocking.
Yeah. Have you tried to get them to sponsor you?
Yeah, they just don't respond. I'm nobody to them. I'm like that random bald guy that like keeps swinging to them.
Oh gosh, we're having like a debate. Patricia, Omar,
Yeah.
Deborah says very helpful information for all of us. All right, does anyone who?
Siebes' mom.
Oh, hi, Deborah.
That's Siebes' last. So
I know he told.
Chris
Well, he
Val.
gave me his card, and I was like,
"Who's Chris Val?"
For her, there's nothing on this card that I know is your name.
Should I call this guy? Should Chris Val? Like, who is that guy? So it's the funniest thing. Do you know that I didn't find out his name for about a year and a half?
Wow.
So Siebes reached out to me on Instagram one day, and he says, "I see you doing the sunrises all the time. Let's hook up and go fly our drones, whatever." And we ended up meeting, and we didn't really work together in the beginning. We just met for sunrises and to shoot on the beach and fly drones and stuff like that. So then we actually started to work, and he sent me a Dropbox folder one day, and I like just ignored it because I thought it was just a random request from somebody. And I'm like, "Bro, when are you going to send the video?" And he goes, "Well, I sent it like 3 hours ago." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah, Chris at, Chris Bal." And I'm like, "What the fuck is Chris Bal? Like, is this somebody that you work with?" And he goes, "No, that's my name."
I love it. So if anyone has any specific questions for Scott.
Gene, that is exactly why Apple will never go out of business. They are so smart with getting you locked into everything. They get you locked in. They make it so easy to sync everything together. Apple marketing is absolutely genius. I don't dislike Apple products. I dislike that it's not like I can still put an expandable SD card in my phone. Whereas if you talk to an Apple person, if you want to send them something or tell them to download an app, they're like, "Oh, well, I don't have room. I got to uninstall something."
AirDrop. Okay, so here's a question from Rochelle. Tell us about the sunrises.
Rochelle joined us. That's so cool.
Okay, you know Rochelle?
I do know Rochelle. She is a Boca Raton real estate girl. She's friends with Danielle. That's how I met her.
Oh, okay.
Tell us about the sunrises. The sunrises are absolutely, I don't find a better way to start my days. I wake up at 5.
And he's out there even when it's like about to rain.
Now, listen, if there is a crack in the rain, like I will be out there, and if I can make it to the beach, I will, or at least the closest awning, and then I'll wait to run again. Yeah. Like I just like, how can you have a shitty day? How can you have a bad day if you're starting it that way?
It's a good way to set your perspective, right?
It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And in the world that we're living in right now, like it's all it is negative. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Yeah. Gary's locked. Apple for life.
When is your next travel?
I please, Francesca, can you tell me when my next travel is? Because
are you inviting Scott to travel to your home?
I wish I knew. Yeah, I wish I knew the answer to that.
Yeah. Omar says he's going to a photo shoot. Bye, Omar. All right. Anything else that you want to add that you think I missed? Did we talk about everything we were supposed to talk
I
about?
think we did.
Okay.
Guys, get digital. Seriously, get digital. And if you have a hard time starting on a certain platform, go on that platform, send me a message, tag me in one of your Instagram posts. I'll comment on it. Having a big account, comment on your stuff. It helps you with the algorithm. If you're on Twitter, please read my bio. I don't check my DMs on Twitter because I just get too much. Tweet to me. Just start a conversation. Just engage. I know it's time consuming. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Take 15 minutes less for lunch. Take a break at the end of the day. Just do it.
Yeah, because in this world, it really is about connection, right? It really is about making that connection with someone that maybe down the road you will be doing business with, right? I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me on social media, and I am now either partnering with them or doing some stuff. Scott and I, we met on Twitter,
100%,
right?
100%. Hold on. First off, somebody's asking, when will cruising be safe again? Okay. Number one,
Hi, Butterbean.
Number one, I work with lots of the cruise lines and I'm talking to them every day. The cruise industry is obviously going to take the longest to come back because of the infrastructure. They have to move ships. They have thousands of crew all over the world. So, things need to be organized as far as that's concerned. But I can tell you that they're already working on heavier safety protocol or health protocols and cleanliness, hygienic, like everything. So when it does come out, they will be at the cleanest level that they've ever been in their life. So I would highly just suggest that give cruising a chance. Don't believe everything you hear in the media. Cruising is a great way to get around, and there's never been a cleaner way to get around, to be honest, in any travels, but especially cruising. Cruising's always been clean. It's just the psychological factor of being in a ship when people get sick and you're not able to walk off. That's the only thing where cruising is at a detriment towards hotels and destinations like that.
Right.
But it's all good for me. I'd be on the first cruise.
Yeah. How many cruises have you done in your life?
I don't know, but over 60, 65, something like that.
Pablo says, every sunrise is special. I have a couple. My son is in this type of business in Tampa. Already told him about this meeting. Oh, thanks, Pablo.
Pablo, sunrises are awesome. Yeah. And I love that. So people also only think that the sunrises are great on the East Coast because we have the sunrise. Some of the best shots that I get are facing west when the sunrise is over there. So I was just in Clearwater Beach and St. Pete, and I was doing the sunrises over there, and they're incredible because nobody's taking advantage of it. Like while the sunrise is over here, you get that purple light over the ocean. Like it's unbelievable. Sunrises are beautiful. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a concrete jungle or you're actually in the jungle or on a beach. I've done them everywhere.
So go check out the sunrise.
Yes.
Get up early and go check out the sunrise. It really will. It will start your day off right.
And if you do it once, you will be addicted. I promise you.
Okay, I think we should end on that. That's good advice, right?
End on that.
Go watch the sunrise. All right. Thank you, Scott Eddy.
And if you're in Deerfield Beach, I'm out there every morning, at least for the next 2 weeks while I'm here. Okay. There you go. I asked you and I'm still waiting.
We can do the sunrise maybe tomorrow in Delray.
There's a very good chance that I'll be out there.
Okay. All right. Come meet us in Delray at the sunrise tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.